Here's a fun fact for you. 33% of first-time homebuyers admitted to bursting out into tears at least one time when purchasing their house. That was absolutely shocking for me to learn, because it means that 2/3 of the people polled were probably liars. Today we'll go over the process from A to Z, so when you'll buy your own home, the only tears will be tears of joy when you realize the amount of money you saved from watching a free YouTube video filled with kittens. Howdy everyone, it's Or Your Canon, and buying a home is not just about pretty pictures and showing tours. It's a process with many steps which most people are oblivious to. Watch this video until the very end and I guarantee that you will save tens of thousands of dollars, and I'll sprinkle some silly cat pictures throughout so you won't lose attention. First, let's talk about who the HUD actually considers to be a first-time homebuyer. The term applies to anybody who has not owned a primary residence within the past 3 years. Not just people who have never bought a house before. If you're married and one spouse has owned a home within the past 3 years but the other has not, well, both are considered first-time buyers. This is important to be aware of because first-time home buyers are eligible for a lot of incentives and programs that are not available for others, and I'll get more to that later in the video. Let's get into qualifications. How are you going to determine if you're even able to buy a house? Your credit score is a huge part of whether or not you will qualify for a home loan. If you have poor credit, it is most likely going to be in your best interest to work on increasing it for a few months before making a purchase. Avoid sudden changes like hard inquiries, new credit lines, high credit utilization, or missed payments. These may cost you thousands of dollars if they'll damage your mortgage terms. The minimum score you need to qualify for a conventional loan is 620. For an FHA, VA, or USDA loan, you should be at 580 or above, and note that the higher your credit is, the better your interest rate is going to be. To get the best rate, aim for a score of 740 or higher. It's possible you'll be able to secure a loan with a lower credit score, but it will cost you more money. If you're not quite to the threshold but ready to buy, mortgage brokers often have products available that can accommodate buyers with lower credit scores. They might be able to get creative with you to find a solution, especially by using products geared toward first-time homebuyers or lower-income homebuyers. Down payment is a critical thing to consider given that almost all loans require them. You will need to have a certain amount saved before you start house hunting. 20% down is considered ideal, but you can usually go as low as 5%. In 2021, the average first-time homebuyer put 7% down. Be advised that being under the 20% threshold might incur extra monthly cost known as PMI. Now, there's nothing wrong with a lower down payment, but your interest rate will most likely be higher, so take note of the associated increases in your monthly payments. Most states also offer down payment assistance programs for first-time buyers. These can be in the form of grants, loans, or offerings that allow you to put as little as 3% down. These programs vary a lot by location. In Austin, the best programs for first-time homebuyers include the TSAHC Home Sweet Home Loan Program and the Austin Down Payment Assistance Program. If you're a teacher, EMT, firefighter, or police officer, you qualify for the Good Neighbor Next Door program. This can get you as much as 50% off the listing price. You heard me right, the listing price. You should also look into FHA program. They have lower down payment requirements and lower minimum credit scores, which make them popular for first-time buyers. There are also tons of state-by-state programs offered. I recommend checking your specific city and county as well because, well, many of them have their own programs. Alright, so now you're ready to buy and you're confident that you can make it happen. Here are the next steps that you should follow. First, you need to find a realtor. In short, you should ensure that they are experienced, familiar with the location that you are buying in, and have worked with first-time home buyers before. Interview several agents and research their reviews and past clients to ensure that you are working with a savvy agent that is looking for your best interest. And always ask to see data. As a first-time home buyer, it's extra important to have an advisor rather than a salesperson. And if you're looking in Austin, I know a guy. It's me. Next, you'll need a lender. A good agent should be able to recommend a few. I advise speaking to a few different mortgage officers to shop for a good rate. Note that lenders also offer different loan products, so learn about what each one of them can do for you and your specific situation. You will need to get pre-approval as well, so I recommend doing it before beginning your house search. The amount you think you can afford might not align with what lenders think, so be sure that you're not wasting your time on houses that you can't or shouldn't afford. Once you have this together, it's time to figure out what you want in a house and get an idea of what is attainable in your market. You want to consider both the purchasing power, meaning the down payment and mortgage, and the cash that you have to spare for renovation, furnishings, and miscellaneous items. The last thing you want to do is to budget all the savings for a new house just to figure out later that you can't afford to get it up to your standards. Speak to your agent to get more detail on what's available at your price point and for suggestions on what may be a good fit for you. Once you've done all of this, you're ready to buy, and let's talk process. First with the fun part, searching for your home. I have a video on this as well, so check that out for an in-depth look of how to do this well and avoid common mistakes. Once you've found the perfect place, it's time to subscribe to the channel. Once you're subscribed, it's a great time to put an offer on that dream house. So review comparable properties in the area to determine the ideal price to put your offer at. You want to understand the fair market value so you can leverage this information to secure a deal for, well, let's face it, less than that. As always, you want to remember that it's not just about buying the house, it's about buying it for the best deal possible. In order to submit the offer, you're going to sign a contract. So contracts are going to vary from state to state. Read it through carefully and consult with your agent or your lawyer depending on your state to make sure that you understand every part of this document. Buyers in Texas should focus in particular on the option period length and cost, the earnest money payments, the third-party financing addendum, and whether an appraisal waiver is used. If all of that sounds like Mandarin, speak with an agent, make sure you understand everything from top to bottom. Be sure to ask to review the seller's disclosure notice during this period. This provides information on what is present at the home and any defects or issues it might have. After executing a deal, you'll schedule an inspection of the property. Inspectors are licensed and are, by design, unbiased. And listen, if you're not going to sweep minds with a $10 whatchamacallit from AliExpress, you should work with someone of a high caliber that is highly proficient. An unprofessional inspector may miss items that will cost you thousands in the near future. The inspector will review the whole house, including foundations, windows, electrical, plumbings, etc. They will also make maintenance notes and point out defects in the property. From there, they will produce a report for you to review. And let me prepare you, this report is going to be long and it's going to make this property look like a piece of Don't lose faith just yet. Make sure to review it with a professional that can help you differentiate between the showstoppers and the regular items that you see in every other inspection report. At this point, you will usually begin the negotiation process. During negotiation, your agent should provide you with the data points that will help you understand how much to request from the seller as concession. This is another key point in which a strong professional can optimize your experience. Someone who has seen hundreds of properties is going to be more knowledgeable than someone who just bought their first home. And if that someone happens to have an entire in-house renovation division, they may be able to get you more money while you're actually going to pay way less. From there, your agent should negotiate the best terms possible on your behalf. This will either come in the form of credits to be paid to you at closing or in repairs the sellers are going to make. Different states work differently, but in Texas, you will likely be within your option period at this point, which means that, well, you can back out with minimal losses if the sellers are being unreasonable. Next, your lender will order an appraisal. A licensed appraisal will visit the property and determine their opinion of what the house is worth based on the market and how it compares to similar homes that sold recently. A day or two before closing, you should conduct a final walkthrough of the house. This is your opportunity to be sure that the house is in the same condition as expected. Be sure that any appliances that are meant to stay with the property are still there and verify that no damage was caused since you last saw the home. Congratulations! It's time to close on the house. This can be done at the office of the title company or at home by a mobile notary. You'll sign off on everything, pay any outstanding fees, and get the keys to your new home. The YouTube algorithm doesn't seem to like my long talking head videos since they're not trendy, but I think that education is awesome. If you agree with me, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share this video with people who can benefit from it, and I'll see you in the next one. As a token of my appreciation, here's a bonus kitten.